Hello there, I'm the TheNightmareDuke and welcome to another Fallout 76 video and two expeditions because they have finally arrived on the PTS and that's what we're going to be taking a look at. So hopefully you enjoy, and if you do then consider sticking around and liking and subscribing for more Fallout content. And do also keep in mind this is the PTS, so all of this can be subject to change, etc. But this is a pretty cool first look at what expeditions are shaping up to be. So I'll do a separate video about the dailies that you need to do to power up your ultraside battery, which of course you're required to actually start and launch an expedition. You can, however, join as many as you like, assuming other people are launching them, but when it does go live, you as a team leader will only be able to launch one a day. So starting off, we get a cool ride in the vertibird and we kick things off by using the intercom and we find ourselves in the pit. And it's looking lovely as ever. And you can explore around the area if you want. It's not time locked or anything like that. So if you want to just run around and explore and do that, you can. Or you could just go and make contact with Hex, which is the first objective here. But the pit looking pretty cool, as it always has. So yeah, cool, nice new and pretty large area that they've added now. So once you do make contact with Hex, you'll get a series of objectives. I think there's 3 objectives and it's randomized from a pool of 9, I think. The update log said. So on my first run through here, I had to do a sort of escort mission and defend the Union saboteur at 4 different locations and keep them alive. If they did take damage, you could heal them with something like friendly fire and a flamer, which was really useful and nice to know. Of course, the enemies you're fighting here are fanatics, both human and robot enemies, and they also come with some exceptional dialogue lines. After this, we then head inside the foundry itself. There are also a couple side objectives which will help you get additional loot at the end. These were, find steel ingots and find the Union missing supplies. Now, I did find steel ingots outside of the open area as well as inside the foundry itself. So they do appear to spawn in both locations. So once you get inside, it is a pretty large place, so just run around and eventually you will start getting little markers on your compass which help you to find the steel ingots. They can be on the conveyor belt, sometimes they're in kitchens and random rooms, so just keep an eye and run around and eventually you'll find them all. You can complete the other objectives and then go looking for them, so it's not like you're locked out of that. And
I will be strong. I will be merciless.
You get amazing dialogue lines like that. I really do love the robotic voice. I know it's temporary, but anyway. The missing Union supplies for anyone that played Nuclear Winter, it's the beeping crate. So once you hear that beeping sound, just start making your way in the general direction. It's pretty easy to find. And of course, it's just slightly different. It's not the usual bright and shiny orange crate. It's a bit more rustic, let's call it. But yeah, pretty easy to find and get those Union supplies. Just listen out for that beeping sound. And then of course the main objectives inside the foundry was first to find the warden and get the keys from them and then free the prisoners. So the warden will have their little guard group and be the sort of area boss themselves. So just take out the group of enemies and the warden, and once the warden's defeated, you can just loot the prisoner key from their body. And then you can start freeing the 2 different prisoner groups located inside the foundry. There's usually one pretty close by to the warden themselves, and then the other one is usually in like the opposite corner of the place basically. But simply unlock the door and they'll run to presumably the nearest exit, and then you can of course just continue on inside, keeping an eye out for those steel ingots if you still need any of them, because they are just scattered randomly about. Just found another one here. Then the next objective is to gather chemical supplies because we need to take out their chem lab. So very similar to Mama Dolce's situation, just gathering 3 different components. One of them is on the chemists themselves, the other is like an orange container, and then the other one is the blue small supply crate from Nuclear Winter. So yeah, you need 6 of each, but once you have all of those gathered, then you can start destroying the chemistry appliances and machines themselves. So just simply add all of that and sabotage all 3, and then this objective is completed as well. Then once it's done, you get more dialogue from Hex, which is, really happy that we're helping her out, and then some more distressing, ominous dialogue from Hex as well, and that leads us into our last objective.
What the hell is that? You better get back here. Fast.
So once we leave the foundry, we are met by trogs. So trogs have returned, and they're their usual selves and seem quite happy when we release them unto death. So you're doing a good service and helping out the trogs, but the objective here is to defend the Union people by keeping all of them alive and then killing the Devourer that spawns at the end as the boss. One time it was a legendary, the other time it was just a regular enemy, so that does seem to be in the hands of RNG. And once that's done, you can of course then start turning in your objectives and give Wicker the side materials that you collected, the Union synth supplies, the steel ingots. You can speak to Hex, and then you can head out, or you can explore the area even more if you want. They did mention that these objectives are checkpointed. Didn't test that out myself. And again, it's a PTS, so bugs are bound to happen. But yeah, still collecting steel ingots, even here in this last objective. So don't worry about missing out on them as long as you get it done before the very final objective. But yeah, once you get to the pen, then it's defending the Union fighters. So make sure to keep all of them alive if you can, because that'll get you the best rewards, basically. So yeah, just a couple of waves of these trogs will come and attack. And then, like I said, that final boss version, the Devourer, will spawn. And you have to take them out. Over here it was a 1-star legendary. The other time it wasn't a legendary. So again, it depends, I guess. Unless it's, you know, just a PTS bug and it's supposed to be a legendary every time. I don't know, but I had one time when it wasn't a legendary. But yeah, once they're dealt with, then you can just hand in those quests to Wicker and head on out. But we'll just finish off the legendary Trog Devourer here and go hand in those quests.
You a merc or something?
Yes, I'm a merc or something, don't worry. So we'll just get up to Wicker up here, who didn't seem to really care about that whole engagement. There's your ingots and your stolen supplies. And then just speak to Hex, and then we can start making our way out of the pit. But of course, if you want to just explore, you can do that as well. Yes, it's time for me to head back. But we head back to the vertibird and exit and get our, loot screen. So as a team leader, I got 10 stamps for completing all objectives. My buddy who was with me got 8 stamps when we ran it again. Other way around, he got 10 as the leader and I got 8. So that seems to be the rewards for completing all of the objectives successfully. And of course, stamps being the new endgame currency and the important thing to sort of grind out. But you also get the, usual XP and rare plan and whatnot. So a pretty cool new addition to the game. Nice having the pit area back and to explore it. It's not like it kicks you out if you take your time, so you can run around if you want. Multiple different quests upon doing the expedition, which is nice and keeps it kind of fresh. And again, any new content for 76 is always nice to get. Of course, you get the rare reward once per week, basically, and then you have the new stamps vendor, Giuseppe. So you'll be needing to do a few runs to buy even one item, so that is definitely the new end game grind. So as you can see here, a whole bunch of different items, such as the auto axe, and of course the plans for the power armor mods and whatnot. So definitely stuff to grind out and buy there. But that's the first look at Expeditions. Pretty cool and always nice to get more content, but let me know what you thought in the comments if you had a chance to jump in yourself, or just from what you've seen, from other content creators and forums and whatnot. But hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, then hey, consider liking and subscribing and sticking around for more Fallout content. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.